And one day they told us to get our stuff and get in the trucks. And so we did, and they took off. And so we came to Boston, and we were going through Boston, and a lot of people were cheering, you know, and waving and cheering. And there were a lot of nice people there, and they gave us, well, they knew we were going to a ship overseas, and they were kind of waving goodbye and stuff. And as we got closer to the ship, well, they had an army band, they playing, and guys were marching, loading up the ships. And so finally it got to us. We were the last ones on the ship. The ship was called the Mauritania. It was an English ship. It was a luxury liner, but it was converted to a troop ship. And well, when I got on board, I found out that there was 10,000 men on there, and we were the last ones on. And we didn't actually, there was nobody in charge of us, and we didn't even have quarters to sleep in, so we just slept anywhere we could find a place to lay down. And so it was an enormous big ship with 10,000 men. Of course, that was big. And well, finally we went on, and pretty soon, you know, they took off. We was about the last of the bunch. And we sailed for England. And of course, we didn't know where we was going, but we were going across the Atlantic anyhow. They don't tell you too much. And so as we were going, nobody was in charge of us, so we had a good time. There was about 50 of us guys, and we just slept anywhere. But in the daytime, we didn't have to do detail or work or anything. We just walked around the ship and leaned on a rail, and we were looking out over the ocean, and it was interesting. And I saw whales a couple of different times. These big packs of whales, and they just kind of stick out of the water a little bit. And some are bigger, some are smaller, and they'd go fast, and you wouldn't see them too long. They'd be getting out of sight. And I seen flying fish. They kind of jump out of the water, and they just glide along for maybe 100 feet or less. I don't know. They go pretty far before they come back down. And while we were going across the ocean, they zigzagged all the way across. Like they'd go 10 minutes one way, and then 10 minutes, say on like a maybe 30-degree angle. And they said they'd done that so, because, well, there were still submarines in the ocean, and they said, you know, if you zigzag like that, they couldn't zero in on your ship with a torpedo, or at least not very easily. And we went across alone. Our ship went across by itself. Some troops went across in big convoys, and they had destroyers and ships to protect them and stuff. But our ship just went by itself. It held a lot of men, and it was fast, and it just zigzagged across the ocean. And well, when we was pretty well out to sea there, about halfway probably, these English sailors, they did a little practice of shooting the big guns on the ship. And what they did, they dropped some drums, and these drums lit off smoke, so they could see them. They knew where they were. And they dropped them off and leave them behind, and after they was way off and maybe getting to where, on the ocean, things start disappearing on account of the curvature of the earth. And when they're getting where they might disappear, they start shooting at them. That was maybe 2 miles or 3 or something. And they were real good at it. They hit them things, seems to me, like every time. I was surprised how good, because the targets were bobbing up and down, and the ship was moving, and still they could hit them targets. I thought that was something. And things went pretty good all the way to England. And then when we were about 5 miles from England, there's a plane flew over the ship, and So they shot the anti-aircraft at the plane, and of course they didn't hit it. It just disappeared. So it looked like that was the end of everything. It was kind of scary, but it might have been a German plane with a bomb or something. But it looked like that was the end of it. But then, about 5 minutes later, or maybe a couple minutes or so, another plane come in. It actually was the same one, and this time he come in low, and he was right on top of us before we even knew what was going on, and he come and flew right over the ship. But they didn't shoot at him this time. And then they let the word out. They said the plane identified himself as friendly, and he just flew over the ship. So that was scary too. When that plane come down, we didn't know it was a friendly plane, but they already knew. The gunners knew it was a friendly plane. They didn't even shoot at it. And after the big scare, it wasn't too long. We landed in maybe same day in Liverpool, England. It's South Central England. And by the way, I landed on my 19th birthday. That was October 17th. And so we grabbed our duffel bags and got off the ship. And they had trucks waiting for us there, and we loaded up on trucks, and we went to a camp. It was called Tidworth. And so that was in South Central England there. And it was at a place called Exmoor too. Like we did our training and firing the guns at the range, Exmoor Range was the area. And I liked it there. And one day they took us out and they said they would show us the tree where the Magna Carta, I think they call it, was signed. So we went out and there was this huge old tree. Well, it wasn't real huge. It had a real big trunk, but the tree was nice shaped, but it wasn't real tall or anything. And it's like a big umbrella. And we were standing under this big tree, and they said that's where the English signed their Magna Carta. And so I remember that. That was kind of interesting. English scenery, land, it was real nice. It was green, and there was a lot of grass, like grass was cut, and it was nice and green. And the English people were friendly, very friendly. They liked to see us there. They needed men while they were getting them. And they called us Yanks. So, whatever that means. I guess they called the Americans Yankees here when they were fighting the Revolutionary War, I think. The beer they drank, they called it bitter, and it was half and half. It was like half ale and half beer or something like that. And it was okay. It was a little weaker maybe. They called it bitter.